This footage shows the wild moment King Von got caught off guard in the beef that ended his life. Even though his death was confirmed by police and caught on camera, some strange clips of King Von still alive are going viral online. To make things even weirder, a woman named Kosha claims she spoke to King Von 16 times after he died.
He came to me and, he talked to me. He gave me messages to give to his family to let him know he's really around me.
In this video, I'm going to show you the shocking footage of King Von that has people questioning everything. After the Chicago drill rapper was killed on November 6, 2020, rumors started spreading that he might still be alive. According to these rumors, some surveillance and phone videos supposedly show King Von in different places after his death, not just in the US, but even overseas. Some people believe he faked his death and is now living a quiet life off the grid. Another theory claims that the body seen that night wasn't actually King Von, but a look-alike or body double. Supporters of this idea say there were strange details and inconsistencies in how the situation was reported. They think the way his body was quickly removed from the scene seemed suspicious, but this goes against all the official reports. The Atlanta Police Department confirmed that King Von was taken to the hospital in critical condition and later pronounced dead. Autopsy results back this up, showing multiple gunshot wounds and damage to major organs, proving that the injuries matched what really happened. Even with all this solid evidence, conspiracy theories still pop up. Some go as far as saying King Von staged his own death to escape legal problems or get away from the pressure of being famous. These people often point to his lyrics, claiming he was dropping hints about disappearing or faking his death. So is King Von really still alive? Here's what Lil Tim, the guy who shot King Von, had to say about it.
Did you think that King Von survived the shooting, or did you know that he was gone at that point?
No, I didn't know neither one, if he was gone or still alive. I just, like I say, I didn't even know it was him. So I didn't even know if he was dead or alive. I just was trying to make sure Quando was good.
Lil Tim told Vlad in an interview that he wasn't sure if King Von died right away after the shooting or if he was still alive for a while. That statement added fuel to the rumors that Von might still be alive. To make things even stranger, a woman named Kosha also claimed she talked to King Von 16 times after he died.
He came to me and, he talked to me. He gave me messages to give to his family to let him know he's really around me.
But despite all the official reports, the authorities confirmed that King Von was dead. So why do these conspiracy theories keep going, even with so much proof saying otherwise? Well, there are a few reasons. First, Von's death hit his fans really hard. For a lot of people, it's tough to accept that someone they admired is suddenly gone, especially in such a violent way. Denial is a natural part of grief, and some fans might cling to these rumors because it's easier than facing the truth. Before he died, King Von even talked about death in a deep way during an interview with No Jumper, something that feels extra emotional now looking back.
There ain't no lesson you can learn from it. That's what I hate.
And I was just watching, that shit crazy, and it happened out of nowhere. Like, as soon as you wake up in the morning, I woke up to it. Like, I don't know who I woke up to. I think a lot of people woke up to it, but I woke up to it.
King Von's own words about unexpected tragedy now feel almost like a warning, considering how his life ended. His sudden death came just as his music career was taking off, and that made it even harder for fans to accept. This shock made some people more likely to believe alternative theories. After his passing, King Von's music and social media accounts stayed active, which made it feel like he was still around. His team continued releasing his music videos and unseen content. In February 2022, his album What It Means to Be King dropped and reached number 2 on the Billboard 200. It included unreleased songs and verses recorded before he died, with features from artists like G Herbo and 21 Savage. These ongoing releases helped keep Von's name alive and in the spotlight, which also helped fuel the conspiracy theories. Even though there's clear proof that Von passed away, some people continue to believe otherwise. On November 18th, 2020, Von's family put out a statement confirming his death and thanking fans for their support. Said, "We are heartbroken for his family, his friends, his team, and his fans. Long live Von." His record label Empire also confirmed the tragic news and shared their sorrow. Von's death deeply affected those closest to him. Lil Durk, who was like a brother to Von, referred to him as his twin and was clearly devastated. Asian doll Von's girlfriend at the time was also heartbroken and often shared memories of him. Some conspiracy theorists pointed to one of her emotional posts, where she claimed it was the police who shot Von, not Timothy Leaks, as supposed proof, but this statement was later deleted and clearly came from a place of pain, not fact, emotional reactions. Right after a traumatic loss shouldn't be taken as evidence. Official reports confirmed the details of Von's death, and his family and label have been open about their grief and their efforts to honor his legacy. The theories about King Von's death are part of a bigger trend we've seen over time. Celebrity death hoaxes and conspiracy stories. Similar things have happened to other famous figures too. Theories have emerged following the deaths of figures like Elvis Presley, Tupac Shakur, and Michael Jackson. These theories often share psychological underpinnings related to denial, wishful thinking, and distrust of official narratives. For anyone seeking the truth about King Von's status, the evidence is clear and consistent. Official statements, medical records, witness accounts, and legal proceedings all confirm that Devin Bennett, known professionally as King Von, died on November 6, 2020. How King Von died. The events that led to King Von's death began in the early morning hours of November 6, 2020, outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, Georgia. What started as a verbal altercation quickly escalated into physical violence and ultimately gunfire, ending the life of one of Chicago's most promising drill rappers in a tragic sequence of events that unfolded in mere minutes. According to official reports from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the incident began when King Von and his squad left the Opium nightclub and arrived at the Monaco Hookah Lounge at 255 Trinity Avenue. The time was approximately 3:20 a.m. The area was still busy with nightlife activity. Van had been celebrating the release of his album Welcome to O Block, which had dropped just 1 week earlier. Seemed like a typical night out took a deadly turn when a confrontation erupted between Van's group and another group of men outside the establishment. Multiple witnesses would later describe seeing two groups of men arguing in the parking lot before the situation quickly escalated. The argument reportedly began over something minor. Exact catalyst for the confrontation remains unclear. Reports suggest it may have been related to previous tension or someone getting disrespected, while others indicate it might have been a spontaneous dispute. Surveillance footage, which has been widely circulated online, captured the chaotic sequence of events. It was obtained from security cameras mounted outside the hookah lounge and provides a clear, albeit disturbing, visual record of how the confrontation unfolded. In the video, a man dressed in all white, identified as King Von, can be seen, throwing the first punch, initiating a physical confrontation. Footage shows Von approaching another individual now known to be Quando Rondo and striking him without apparent warning. Within moments, the gathered crowd begins to scatter as gunfire erupts, marking a rapid escalation from a fistfight to a deadly shootout. Surveillance video captures people running for cover and vehicles speeding away from the area as multiple gunshots ring out. The entire incident, from the initial confrontation to the shooting, transpired in less than a minute, highlighting how quickly situations can turn fatal when straps are involved. Quando Rondo, who was present during the altercation, later provided his perspective on the incident in an interview. His account offers valuable context on how unexpected the confrontation was from his perspective.
Never. No. It just is one of them nights. Well, what club popping the most down here? And that so happened to be the club. And I was
in the same interview, claimed he had no prior knowledge that King Von would be at the location and was caught off guard by the confrontation.
I already told you, bro. I never knew it was a problem. I didn't pull up for that. To be honest, I was in the car asleep. Didn't even know, I didn't know that other artists is gonna be there. Nothing like that.
This account suggests that the meeting between the two groups was coincidental rather than planned, contradicting speculation that either party had deliberately sought out the other with the intention of causing harm. Quando Rondo further elaborated that he was unaware of any existing problem between himself and King Von that would have provoked such an attack. As the physical altercation unfolded, Timothy LOL, Tim, Leaks an associate of Quando Rondo, allegedly opened fire shooting King Von multiple times. According to witnesses, Leaks was in a vehicle nearby when the fight broke out and emerged with a burner when he saw Quando being assaulted. The surveillance footage appears to show someone opening fire from the periphery of the fight, though the quality of the video makes it difficult to definitively identify the shooter. According to the Atlanta Police Department statement, King Von was shot during this initial exchange between the two groups before police officers could intervene. At this time, our investigators believe Mr. Bennett was shot during the initial shootout between the two groups of males prior to police responding and attempting to stop the shooting. This crucial detail dispelled early rumors that Vaughn had been shot by police officers who were also present at the scene. Both on-duty and off-duty officers were in the vicinity and did discharge their weapons during the incident, but the APD confirmed that King Von's fatal injuries occurred. Before their intervention, the officers had been working in a security capacity at the nightclub and responded when they heard gunshots. The aftermath of the shooting was chaotic. 6 men were shot in total, with 2 fatalities, including King Von. And Mark Blakely, a 34-year-old Chicago resident who was reportedly part of Van's entourage. King Von was transported to a hospital in critical condition, but ultimately succumbed to his injuries. The other victims had varying degrees of injuries, with some requiring surgery and others being treated and released. According to reports from those present, Van was initially conscious after being shot and was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle rather than waiting for an ambulance. This decision was made in an effort to get him medical attention as quickly as possible, but unfortunately his injuries proved too severe. Timothy Lull, Tim Leaks, was also injured during the exchange of gunfire. He later recounted his experience of being wounded and the immediate aftermath.
Nah, my left leg didn't really get shot. And then I didn't even know I got shot until I got to the hospital the next morning and stuff like that. But I knew I got shot in the hip because I felt that. So my right hip, I wasn't walking on that. Like, I pulled myself up from the back of the truck. Like, I pulled myself up and I really limped back to the door on my left leg because my left leg wasn't hurting.
Okay, so did you drive yourself to the hospital or did Quando drive you?
It was both. I'm the one who pulled off. Like, I was telling Quando to get in the car because there was so much going on.
Leak's account provides insight into the confusion and panic that followed the shooting, as the wounded attempted to seek medical attention while also trying to distance themselves from the scene of violence. Leaks was arrested and charged with felony murder on November 7, 2020, while receiving treatment for his injuries at Grady Hospital. The Atlanta Police Department announced the arrest, stating, "Mr. Leaks is in police custody at Grady Hospital, where he is undergoing treatment for a gunshot wound. Homicide of Bennett is closed." With this arrest, Leaks was later released on a $100,000 bond in March 2021. After spending several months in custody. His release on bond was controversial, with many of King Von's fans expressing outrage on social media. However, it's important to note that release on bond is a standard part of the legal process and does not indicate any determination of guilt or innocence. In a surprising turn of events, the murder charge against Leaks was dismissed in August 2023, nearly 3 years after the shooting. According to his attorney, Noah Pines, the case was dismissed before formal indictment because prosecutors determined that Leaks acted in self-defense under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. This law allows individuals to use deadly force if they reasonably believe it is necessary to prevent death or great bodily harm to themselves or others. Leaks later described the moment he learned the charges were dropped, providing a personal account of how he received this life-changing news.
Well, you get out, but the charges are still kind of hanging over your head for a while.
Right.
But then, August 2023, all charges dropped.
The dismissal of charges was a significant legal development that effectively closed the criminal case related to King Von's death. Decision by prosecutors indicates that they believe they could not successfully argue against a self-defense. given the evidence that King Von had initiated the physical confrontation. Lil Tim eventually discovered that King Von had died. His reaction reflected his perspective on the situation. It suggests that he viewed the tragedy as the result of Van's actions rather than his own.
When you did finally find out that it was King Von who died, how'd you feel?
I was like, damn, if Brian did that stupid shit last night, he still would have been alive. That's how I was. But I was like, yeah, I ain't no the type person I am. Like, I'm a humble person.
This statement, while controversial, highlights the perspective held by Leaks and others in his camp that the fatal outcome could have been avoided if Von had not initiated the physical confrontation. The circumstances of King Van's death highlight volatile intersection of street politics and hip-hop culture. What began as a verbal confrontation escalated rapidly into lethal violence, demonstrating how quickly situations can spiral out of control when tensions run high and firearms are. The tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the real-world consequences of conflict, particularly in environments where guns are readily accessible. Beef, the reactions, and the aftermath. Fatal shooting of King Von wasn't just an isolated tragedy. It was part of a complex web of street beef and gang-related altercations. Central to this narrative is the perceived beef between King Von and NBA YoungBoy, which many fans and commentators believe played a role in the events, leading to Van's death. This perceived rivalry was complicated by the fact that Quando Rondo, who was involved in the altercation with Von, is signed to YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label. However, internet speculation may have overblown this conflict rather than reflecting deep-seated animosity between the artists. In one interview, King Von downplayed the tension, stating, "They be saying that a lot. It's like we got the same issues and hoes, and then you know how the internet will try to make it." Van's statement indicates that any tension may have been related to personal matters rather than professional rivalry. In another interview, King Von spoke about how internet speculation can drive artificial beefs and how the dynamics of social media and loyalty can create conflicts where none previously existed.
Game, man.
Tell us shit. What you mean in the
I'm
game?
talking about
On
the
a
rap
rap game? You telling, okay? That sick as bogus. Shit, what else? Yeah, it be just and then be choosing sides.
Despite King Von's dismissal of serious beef with NBA YoungBoy, the actual confrontation that led to his death involved Quando Rondo, an artist signed to YoungBoy's Never Broke Again label. This connection has fueled speculation about whether the altercation was related to broader tensions between the two camps. Some have suggested that Van's attack on Quando may have been related to Quando's affiliation with YoungBoy, though no concrete evidence supports this theory. When King Von died, the reactions from his inner circle were immediate and breaking. Lil Durk, Van's close friend and label mate at Only the Family F, was live streaming on Instagram when he learned of the shooting. Viewers witnessed his visible shock as comments about Von flooded in. The video captured the raw moment. When Durk first received the news, his expression changing noticeably as he processed the information before abruptly ending the live stream. The relationship between Von and Durk was particularly close, with Durk having played a pivotal role in launching Van's music career. In a later interview with Academics, Lil Durk reflected on his relationship with King Von and the impact of his death.
Knock it out. We'll respect it.
This statement illustrates how Durk had been instrumental in providing Von with platforms and opportunities, showcasing the professional aspect of their relationship alongside their personal bond. In the years following Van's death, the tension between F and NBA Never Broke Again intensified, often playing out in music and on social media. The conflict, which had previously existed primarily at the level of fan speculation, seemed to solidify and intensify following Van's death. NBA YoungBoy released tracks that were perceived as disses to Van's legacy, including Bring the Hook, with lyrics targeting Chicago's Oblak This That, Squid Game Olak Pack Get Rolled Up. This explicit reference to Van's hood was widely interpreted as disrespectful to his memory and legacy. The track prompted responses from Van's sister Kayla B, as well as from Lil Durk, who appeared to respond in his own music. The back and forth between the camps continued across multiple songs and social media exchanges. with fans eagerly dissecting lyrics for subliminal shots and implied threats. What had once been dismissed as internet speculation by Vaughn himself had evolved into a very real and increasingly hostile conflict between two of hip-hop's most prominent collectives. The legal aftermath of the shooting took several unexpected turns. Initially, Timothy Leaks was charged with felony murder in connection with King Von's death. He remained in custody until March 2021, when he was released on a $100,000 bond. For over 2 years, the case proceeded through the legal system with Leaks awaiting indictment and trial. However, in August 2023, those charges were dismissed before the case was formally indicted based on Georgia's Standure ground law. According to Leaks' attorney Noah Pines, the case against Mr. Leaks was dismissed prior to ever being indicted. This decision effectively ended the criminal proceedings against Leaks without a trial, leaving many of Van's fans feeling that justice had not been served. Following his release, Luim released a song titled Left a Stain, which many interpreted as a reference to King Van's death. The song and its accompanying music video, which depicted him removing his house arrest ankle, Monitor generated significant controversy and was seen by many as disrespectful to Van's memory. The track further inflamed tensions between the opposing camps and their respective fan bases. In October 2024, the case took another dramatic turn when Lil Durk was arrested near Miami International Airport on federal charges including conspiracy to commit murder for hire. The charges alleged that Durk orchestrated a plot targeting Quando Rondo in retaliation for King Von's death, resulting in the death of Rondo's cousin, Sevillaya Lou Pab Robinson. 5 members of the F Collective were also arrested in connection with this alleged retaliatory plot. According to court documents, an unnamed co-conspirator offered money and lucrative music opportunities to execute the plot against Quando Rondo. The FBI alleged that Lil Durk had placed a bounty on Rondo following King Von's death, further illustrating the cycle of violence that emerged in the wake of the 2020 shooting. The specific details of the alleged plot were revealed in court documents claiming that in August 2022, 5 associates, Kavin, London Grant, DeAndre Dantrell Wilson, Keith Jones, David Brian Lindsay, and Asa Houston traveled from Chicago to Los Angeles to carry out the hit. The target was allegedly Quando Rondo, but Robinson was killed instead. The indictment described the use of F credit cards to book same-day flights and other logistics for the operation. Durk has pleaded not guilty to all charges, and his trial was initially scheduled for January 2025, but has been pushed back to October 2025. If convicted, he could face a significant prison sentence, potentially life imprisonment. This legal situation represents one of the most direct and serious consequences of the ongoing fallout from King Van's death. On social media posts highlighted how fans pressured Durk to slide for Von, meaning to take retaliatory action. These posts suggest that fan expectations and internet culture may have contributed to the ongoing cycle of violence. The phenomenon of fans encouraging violent retaliation highlights the problematic intersection of entertainment and real-world conflict, where audiences expecting performers to live up to their lyrical personas may inadvertently push artists toward destructive actions. One post from It Daily Loud stated, "Fans are blaming internet trolls for pressuring Lil Durk to retaliate after King Von was murdered, kept asking Durk to slide for Von. He did it now, he's locked up." This sentiment reflects a growing recognition among some fans about the real-world consequences of the pressure placed on artists to maintain certain images or fulfill expectations of loyalty and retaliation. King Von's story continues to unfold through legal proceedings, posthumous releases, and the ongoing impact of his work. What remains clear is that his life and death have left an indelible mark on hip-hop culture, serving as both a cautionary tale and a testament to the power of authentic storytelling in music. If you love this video, then click on the card showing on your screen for more videos.